Hello, everybody. I do like the music that StreamYard gives us to play with. So yes, hello, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome. There you go. We'll just turn that off with a wipe of the hand. Good evening, everybody. I do hope you are well. Welcome to Beyond Authentic. We're going to be doing some tarot reading very, very soon because that's what we're all here for, obviously. If you are new here, please do go ahead and do the YouTube things. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and obviously do go ahead and hit your, change your settings to all is what I was trying to say about the subscribing. But I keep remembering, and then I forget, and then I remember because, you know, ADHD, that's how my brain works. I keep forgetting to ask. When I say go ahead and hit that like button, does it show up on screen? If you're watching this on like on a PC, does it actually do the whole lighting up and changing colors and, oh look, I'm here, here's the like button, come and press me? Does it do that? Because I have yet to see on any video that I am watching any of the creators when they say like, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things. I am yet to see that happen live for me. And I didn't know whether it was something that's being rolled out gradually. So I didn't know whether it was something available on the channel yet. So if you are here, I'll say it again, because I think you've got to wait every so often, right? I think you've got to wait every so often. I don't think I can say it every like 5 minutes. I think there's a gap. So I'll say it again a little bit later. Just do me a favor. Keep an eye out. Have a look at the L and S buttons down wherever they are down there, and just see whether or not it goes ooh and does a little ring and lights up, because it's supposed to. There you go. Don't know whether it does or doesn't, but it's supposed to. Don't forget also, by the way, everybody, you can join me over on that Instagram. It's working, Neil. The Instagram thing, it's working. It's amazing. So now when I'm doing things, I'm doing thumbnails and things, I make a little small version, a little square like that for Neil, and send us to Neil for Instagram. So yes, you've seen the light up thing, but never on one of mine. That's so annoying. I really want it. I really want the channel to light up. I don't know why. I just think it's such a cool idea. I think it's such a cool thing, and it appeals to me, to the sort of 80s nerd in me, which is all. Oh, I mean, talking of which, look, because I was made in the 70s. So I was a child in the 80s, so I've got that 80s nerddom with neon lights and things like that, which is probably why I've got so many of these everywhere in this room. But yes, anyway, so let's talk about the tarot on this channel. So we do tarot. And we don't do voodoo, but we do tarot. Yes. And the tarot that we do on this channel is a little bit different to your grandmother's tarot. The way I do tarot is a little bit more blunt, down to earth. I don't know how to put it. A little more. What would you say, Mods? What would you describe it as? It's not blunt. It's just a little more direct, maybe a little more direct. Belinda, good evening. You were made in 1969. Nice. That's the new meme, isn't it? I don't know whether it's new, but that's the new thing. Every time you say the word 69, you've got to say nice. So yeah, I might end up pricing things in the shop at like £4.69. Just nice. It's a nice price. Good evening to Lou Who. I hope you are well. Nice. Nice. Yes, all of that. I can't do the voice, but yes. Anyway, so the way I do tarot is a little bit different to other people. It's a lot more intuitive, a lot more direct, but hopefully it gets right at the core of what you need to know. Okay. So while I'm here, I might as well go ahead. I'll tell you what, before we do anything else, let's run the channel intro, shall we? We'll do that, and then we'll talk about how you get a reading on this channel. Hi, I'm Lisa, a practicing liminal witch and tarot reader with over 28 years experience in helping people find guidance through the cards. On this channel, I talk about all sorts of witchy, spooky and mystical things that interest me, and I hope will interest you too. Welcome to Beyond Authentic. Yes, indeed. Welcome, Nitu. I've got your super chat has just pinged on my system, so thank you ever so much for that. I will look at that in a second for you. You'll be the first cab off the rank today. So how do you get a reading like Nitu Singh has just done? Well, there are two ways. The first way to get a reading is to go ahead and send it as a Superchat. That way it comes through on a guaranteed system, and as I say, the super chat will guarantee that you are on the list, that you are next. If we get multiple super chats in, say in a break like I'm talking now, we get multiple super chats in at the same time, then I will read them in the order they came in. If you would like a longer tarot reading going into more detail, then the super chat has to be over £6. But just to guarantee that your reading is up next, or that your reading is in to be read, and to guarantee that, then you can send that at any amount. If, however, you have a really deeply private issue that you want to talk about, it could be something that other people would deem embarrassing. It could be something that you don't want others knowing because maybe, as I always say, you're having an affair with your boss, or you're embezzling billions of dollars out of, I don't know, the Trump thingy, whatever's, then whatever's happening, you can always go ahead and book a private reading over at the website, which it should be in the comment section right now. It's beyondauthentic.co.uk. It's up there as well, and you can also use Authentic 10 for 10% off readings on that there channel. So then, I do also have to say that there are some rules on this channel, and they are for very good reasons. Okay, so before we go any further, let's get the rules done. You do have to be 18 years of age or over on the channel to get a reading. Also, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all your own decisions about your own life, and tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you are in fact looking for support in those areas, please do seek out a professional. I am not a professional in those areas. As you will see from the witch casket unboxing video that's about to launch probably tomorrow, the members have already seen it, but for everybody else, it'll be on the channel tomorrow. I am not a counselor, but I have done several levels of counseling training, and that is a very good skill that I have. But it's also something that you'll see in the witch casket unboxing. You'll see that it also makes me very, very angry at times about things that aren't done professionally. So yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm not a professional counselor. I've got some counseling skills. Hopefully that comes across, that we are a caring and empathetic channel. But this is not counseling. This is not counseling advice. It's not legal advice. Please remember, if you want support in those areas, seek out a professional. And also, please, while we're on the subject of all things internet, don't dox yourself on this channel. Okay, do not send your private information. Don't get chatting in the live chat. Get to know someone and then send them your private information, unless you are prepared to take that risk. Don't put, I would say this is probably one of the safer channels because we are a really lovely community here. But even I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't share my details on the interwebs. Also, if you are going through something, if you are going through trauma, if you are going through some personal stuff, if you don't want it on the internet and to be found forever, please keep it away from the chat. You can always say, I'm going through some really deep shit right now. I'm going through some really deep personal stuff that I don't want to really get into, but I'm struggling. And that's all you need to say. If you want to share more, just be aware that courtesy of things like Google and the Wayback Machine and things like that, your comments on this tiny little micro channel may be able to be found by future employers years and years and years into the future. So just be aware of that. All of that being said, let's go ahead. I do have Nitu's super chat to read first, but I'm just going to say hello to who is in the live chat right now. Good evening to Holland, one of our lovely moderators. If you want to know why this channel's got so many moderators, by the way, we've got 5, although Neil is taking more and more of a producer role on the channel, and our lovely Jay the Nibbling is kind of mod in training, so we've really got 3. Yeah, really, we've got 3. So it's not like we've got hundreds of mods, but what the mods are there for is when I'm doing a reading, I do not have the comments on screen. Okay. And there's a reason for that. My ADHD will become very distracted. So if I'm That's also something that's happening at the moment, us freezing. We are trying to get this sorted. I have incredibly fast internet here. We're paying for the fastest possible internet, and it's still happening. So I will be trying to check all of that out. But as I was saying, if somebody puts California, say, into the live stream, then as I'm doing a reading, I might say this is the Queen of California rather than the Queen of Cups. So that's why I don't have my screen on. And hopefully, if the mods can today, especially, if I do freeze, mods, if you can just put in, she'll be back in a second, because that's going to be one of those things today. Right then. So who did I say hello to? I said hello to Neetu Singh. I said hello to Holland. Hello to Belinda Jane Harris, my darling. Hello to you. Hello to Patricia in the chat. Good evening to Lou Hu. Good evening to Scorpio Angel. Hello, my darling. Good evening to, I think that's everybody that's popped in. Yep, that's everybody that's popped in. Yes, indeed. So then, I've got a reading first for Neetu Singh, and then I may well be opening up a free round. If we don't get any more super chats, then I'll be opening a free round. So please do go ahead and yeah, get ready for your questions. Neetu Singh, your reading is coming up in 17 seconds.
We have a super strong connection here, right? Oh my God!
Yes, indeed. Right then, I'm just going to swap to the card cam. Hopefully we should be in a reasonable position today. There we go. Oh, a little bit skewy, and I could probably bring it up a little bit more. There we go. Oh, sorry, everybody. I was trying to do that on the screen just then, but I didn't have the time, unfortunately. So this is the deck I'm going to be using today. It's the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith, and it's a wonderful deck. It's the original Rider-Waite, but it's kind of been redrawn. It's kind of like it's been traced over, and then they've upped the color. So instead of it being, you know, maybe colored in pencil, this feels like it's been colored in acrylic. Do you know what I mean? So it's a much brighter deck, a much brighter version of the Rider-Waite-Smith. A super chat from Doomsight. Doomsight, thank you very much. I will get to that after I've done the reading for Neetu Singh, who I'm doing a reading for just now. So yeah, I will. That has already been starred and is on my system. So then, Neetu, I've got your question up now. We've got the deck. Let's go ahead and cleanse the space as we normally do. And then go ahead and bring in the lovely Wispy. So Wispy is our air elemental dragon. There is a whole episode dedicated to Wispy, the details of which should now be appearing in the comment section. If you want to know what Wispy is Wispy a real dragon? Have I completely lost that there plot? What is Wispy? How do you find out and perhaps even create your own Wispy. Right then, Wispy, good evening to you, my darling. Neetu Singh is here with a lovely reading. A lovely question, sorry. She wants to know, is her marriage over or will they be back together? Neetu, I know that this has been something that you've asked a couple of questions on in the past. So we know that there is this issue with the in-laws. So Wispy, this is where Neetu is coming from at the moment. Things aren't great, to say the very, very least. That is the understatement of the year, Wispy. But what Neetu needs to know is her marriage over? Is it looking like there's no comeback? Or is there a way for her and her husband to reconcile and to come back together? That's what we want to know. Okay, Neetu, fingers crossed for you, my darling. I'm not quite sure which way the fingers are crossed, what outcome you're looking for, but let's see what the cards have to say. So then we're going to do your drop. Oh, I think, okay. It feels like from this end, it feels like they're wanting to go again, but you've got your drop. So then let's have a look. So where you are now, oh, the Lovers. What you need to know, oh, everything's up in the air. That doesn't really help. This is just telling us and what the opportunity is. Right, so the future opportunity is, right, okay. Because you sent it before the notifications went up with the new, the prices and everything now, I'm going to do you a longer reading, my darling. But we're going to start off with this. Look, so in the present or the where you are now position, we've got the Lovers. So this is saying absolutely, if we didn't know what the question was all about, that card tells us it's about the Lovers. In this deck and in this type of depiction, you can see that it is actually about the couple, and whether or not I wouldn't say whether or not there's a loving relationship there, because I do think there is still a loving relationship there, but sometimes loving relationship isn't enough. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes that loving relationship just isn't enough for a couple to be together. The fact that they might love each other might not be enough to get over the other issues that we've talked about in the past. In the what you need to know, you've got the 8 of Wands, and Wands is confidence. So this, I think, is your confidence, and it's all up in the air. You can see that these wands, all of them are kind of in mid-flight, and it's as if someone's got them and they've thrown them like a javelin, and you get to decide wherever they land, you get to decide which ones to pick up and move forward with. So if you imagine that each one of these is a different aspect of you and your confidence and how you see yourself, the fact that all of this is up in the air means that this is a time of change and a time of, kind of a transitional period, because whatever happens from here, whether you reconcile or whether you don't, you've gone through this. Do you know what I mean? So because you've gone through this sort of this trauma in the relationship, it's going to feel very up in the air. The Strength card we've got coming in the future opportunity. Now this is reverse, which means it feels like you're feeling a bit less than strong, and not necessarily the opposite of weakness isn't necessarily opposite of strength isn't necessarily weakness. Quite often the opposite of strength is just that you no longer want to be strong. You no longer need to be strong. Do you know what I mean? It's not that you don't have that inner strength. It's that actually you don't want to keep flexing those muscles, if that makes sense. Let's connect the Lovers to the Wands. Yeah, we've got the Knight of Wands. So I think this is all about husband. Again, that maybe teenage type attitude that, again, I think you know this, because look, it's still here. And I think this is that issue. It's that acting before thinking element that's going on with the Knights. And I think, again, it's something that we've obviously spoke about previously. In terms of the 8 to the Strength card reversed, we've got the 7 of Pentacles reversed. Again, this is saying to me, if we hold this upright, so the 7 of Pentacles is about making choices about whether to carry on growing something. So in this case, we've got this bush, and yet Pentacles is about work, career, finances, but it's also about growth, because the Pentacles is the earth element. It's about the growth in things. So if you see a Pentacle card coming up while you've got a new project, for instance, if it's upright and it's looking healthy, then it's a good sign that, you know, growth is on its way. This card is about that decision. Should you, you know, harvest this fruit growing on this tree, the money tree? Should you harvest this fruit now, or should you leave it to grow and potentially go over so it's useless? And this is the dilemma. But when it's reversed, it's like it's too late. It really does feel like it's too late. So in terms of your actual question, it's the first indicator that maybe it's too late. I know that in previous weeks when we've spoken about how things might go, we've said that the time is ticking for your husband, and if he's not willing to, you know, stand up to his family and come back and claim you as his wife, and basically, you know, this is my wife, this is my life, this is where we're going. If he's not willing to do that, then this is the first indicator that we've had that things may well be heading that way. And then we've got another seven of cups. So this is the decision. This is growth moving forward, and this is the romance card. So again, look, with the 7 of cups, it's talking about, if I'd be saying this is different types of gifts within that sort of romantic setting. They could be, you know, positive moments, they could be loving moments, all of these things that the cups would represent. But when it's reversed, it's talking about it's talking about that decision of whether or not love is enough for you to move forward. I'll tell you what that was in just a second, that BBC announcement. There's just been a massive world announcement. So it does feel as if everything is coming down to decision time. And I think it's you that has that decision to make, to be honest. I think it is you that is the one that he's not going to make that decision, because we've got that Knight energy here. Okay, so if we show you the pattern, we've got the Lovers, then we've got his rather immature, childlike behavior that we know about, that we've talked about, leading to this decision here about a really tough decision about the romantic relationship and where things are headed and where things are. And then another tough decision about, is there actually going to be any growth? Is there going to be children? Is there going to be a long time? You know, are you going to get to your 10-year, 20-year, 40-year anniversary? It's looking increasingly like these decisions are now falling into your lap. And then we've got the Strength card reverse, which is saying, you know, I don't think you have to be incredibly strong here. You can kind of, how can I put it? I don't think whatever happens, right, whatever your decision is, I don't think that you have to go up against your mother-in-law, right? I don't think you have to go head to head with her, because I don't think you'll win. You know that, he knows that. It's down to your mother-in-law to allow you to be the wife and to pick up where she's left off. She's created, you know, the lovely, mature, well-mannered husband to be, and she should now effectively hand that over to the new wife so that you and your husband can start your family. But if she's meddling, I do not think any level of strength, any ultimatum is going to really make a massive difference to her. It might to him. So again, I think as far as this, it's looking more and more likely that things may be headed down the negative path, if that makes sense. It's looking more and more likely that things may well be coming to a close in terms of the marriage, if he isn't willing to acknowledge and to step forward out of his mother's rather large shadow, or release those apron strings, that's the word I was looking for, then I think he's going to lose you. And I think you deserve a hell of a lot better, my darling. You really do. You deserve somebody that wants to be in a relationship with you and is willing to go all in on that, and to maintain that relationship. and it certainly doesn't feel like that's where we are at the moment with the husband. But I hope that helps me too. I really do. Again, from this perspective, I think you've got some really tough decisions here. But again, I think you're the only one that can make that decision. It's certainly looking that things are headed in a particular direction, my darling. I'm sorry for that. But again, maybe all things happen for a reason, and maybe it's pointing you at a different and a rather different, but maybe a happier future somewhere else. And I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. But thank you ever so much for your reading, and thank you for your question. Not thank you for your question. Thank you for your donation, and thank you for your question. You know what I'm trying to say. Right then. So thank you very much, Danita Singh, for kicking us off with a super chat. I've got another super chat in from Doomsight, and I'm going to go ahead and read that very shortly. I'm just going to pop back into the live chat. Thank you, Nitu. No problem at all, my darling. I hope it helps. I really do hope it helps. Kritika, good evening to you, my darling. The rules are very simple. If you would like a question, there are two ways to get a question on this channel. The first is to send it as a super chat of any amount. That will guarantee that you are queue jumping the free readings. That gets you a reading. If you want a longer reading, 6 or 7 cards going into a bit more detail, the root of the issue, things like that, then that would be a minimum of £6 on the super chat on that donation. Once YouTube takes its cut, I donate 10% to 2 charities, so 10% to each charity here in the UK that help me with my bladder cancer issue. So that's Fight Bladder Cancer and Bladder Cancer UK, and that I will continue to do. Yeah, so that's where the money goes, and the rest just is put back into the channel expenses. So those are the 2 ways to get a reading, my darling. And I think if I press that should put them all on screen. Oh no, the other way. The other way is to get wait until I open up a free reading round. So a free round, it shouldn't say that on there. I do apologize. A free round is basically one where it does exactly what it says on the tin. What I will say is I will open a round. Everybody puts their question into the live chat, and one will be chosen at random, and I will read for that person at random. Okay, Kritika, those are the rules. Also, I'll pop this on the bottom of the screen. So yes, if you are new here, there you go. Those are the details. Now, obviously, you've got to be 18 years of age or over to receive a tarot reading. And this is not medical, legal, financial, or counseling advice. As long as you're aware of that, then go ahead. Right, my darling. So I've got a super chat in for Doomsight. Doomsight, your reading will be coming up in about 30 seconds. I just need to grab a drink of water. Bear with me just 1 second while I hit one of the my screen is not happy today. Everything is jumping around something chronic. But right, stay there. Don't move. Let me press the button. Right then, so I will be doing your reading, Doomsight, straight after this message. If I can play it, if I can find it. Oh, I've lost it. There we go. Talking about our membership. Okay, so then let's have a look in that there. Sorry, not let's have a look in that there chat. Let's have a look at the next reading. Right, so Doomsight, good evening to you, my darling. As always, we cleanse the area between readings, and I bring in the lovely Wispy. Oops, it's going to throw cards at me. And we're going to do your reading. So you're asking, I wonder if me and Eleanor are actually meant to be. Okay, my darling, let's have a look. Lots of relationship questions today, Wispy. That seems to be quite a standard at the moment. So let's have a look for you. Right then, let's have a look. So then, we go. You've got the 5 of Swords coming up in your where you are. In what you need to know, we've got the 10 of Wands. That's interesting. And in the opportunity position, oh, we've got the Empress, but she is reversed. I say it every single time. The Empress is my absolute favorite card. But yeah, so she is reversed. Okay. So then, what I'm going to do, I'm going to extend yours as well to a longer reading, just because I think it's important to know. So then, are you and Eleanor actually meant to be? Let's do the extension for you. Oh, wow. So 2 more major cards and the Page of Pentacles. Right. To note, there are no cup cards here. So cups is the element of, cups is the suit of romance, positive emotions, those sort of things. It links in with the element of water, which is also to do with our emotional selves. There's none of that here. So there's no emotional connection. There is the Empress, which is a wonderfully positive card, but she's coming in reversed. Okay, so we'll talk about that. At the moment where you are, the 5 of Swords, I think that you and Eleanor, if you're not bickering, you're actively arguing at one another. So 5s are about things being turbulent, things being a little bit up in the air, things being difficult. And the Swords is about trouble and strife. So this is talking about the challenges, the obstacles in your life. And it feels like you can see here, we've got people, this person's crying, we've got the swords laying on the ground. Quite often this is depicted as after a battle. And so you've got this element of there being a lot of upheaval, a lot of chaos. And I think that's coming in your relationship between the two of you, because again, Swords is all about those issues, that trouble and strife element. The 10 of Wands is all about confidence. And this is what you need to know. Somebody is overconfident in this relationship. So we don't know whether that's you or Eleanor. I will always say that the 9 is when something is full, the 10 is when something is overflowing. So in this case, that confidence is overflowing. Is that leading into arrogance? Is that leading into not really paying attention to each other's issues or each other's problems, because you feel that you don't need to, because you feel that it's all about either you or all about Eleanor? This overconfidence, this over kind of, it's almost like you don't need to check in with your partner, or your partner doesn't need to check in with you, because of course they're going to stay around. And of course, do you know what I mean? So it's got that sort of element to it where it's almost like you're assuming that the other person is going to be there, or Eleanor is assuming that you're always going to be there and not giving you any of that attention. And that with the Wands can be a really destructive thing in a relationship, because again, it's that overconfidence. Oh, I don't need to try because we're together now. You know, it's that thing, isn't it, that people talk about relationships when they say that while you're dating someone, you put the effort in, you send the flowers, you do the romantic gestures. Once you're married, all of that stops because, you know, you're now tied to each other. So why would you bother? That's the sort of influence that the 10 of Wands is giving in this reading. We've got the Empress. Now, the Empress, as many people know, because I'd say it every single time she turns up, the Empress is my favorite tarot card in the entire deck. She's often related to children, but she is very much related to that family element, that warmth, that sort of, and again, not everybody's family is like this, but that warm, motherly ideal. You know what I mean? That sitcom ideal, that sort of idealized Hallmark Disney film ideal of what a family is. She also brings that abundance energy, because she's connected with wheat and growth and all of these lovely things. She's bringing all of that. But unfortunately for you, the Empress is reversed, which means all of that abundance, all of that lovely warm family feeling, all of that nice vibe is actually removed. It's actually taking away. And it's saying that in this instance, there's almost like a lack of connection, a lack of family connection, but also it could relate to a lack of wanting a family, or a complete lack of like having that loving element. So if either you, when you think about Eleanor and you look at Eleanor, if you don't have that spark, then that's one thing that, you know, should tell you that maybe you're not meant to be together. But if Eleanor doesn't have that spark, if Eleanor doesn't have that feeling of wanting to be with you for the longer term, then maybe that's what this Empress card is reflecting on, because quite often the Empress is seen as being that maternal type figure, that sort of maternal stereotype, that archetype. Now, linking between the Five of Swords and the Ten of Wands, we've got the Magician reversed. So somebody here isn't able to make their own decisions and make the life that they want without whilst you're in this relationship. Okay, so it could be that you don't get to say and you don't, you know, get to make your choices whilst you're with Eleanor, or it could be that Eleanor's not able to do that. The Magician, when it's this way up, is all about manifesting your best life, creating things, going after the things that you want in life, going after all the loveliness, literally making it so, create something out of nothing, run your life, become the person you want to be, all of those platitudes. This way round, it can be quite manipulative, because the Magician can manipulate the elements around them to create, you know, a better life. This way round, it's talking about be careful. There is manipulation here at play. There is a certain amount of maybe a little bit of skullduggery going on, maybe a little bit of you know, something not being quite right, especially at the very core, at the root of this connection. And I'm saying that because the Magician is the number one card. It's not the first card, that's the Fool, but the Magician is the number one card. It's the first character of the deck that the Fool meets, and the Fool learns about, you know, being able to create the universe and magic and all of those things from the Magician. So there's definitely a lack of that here, but there is also a need for strength. So I don't know whether this again is saying that this is a difficult connection, maybe where one person is being very over demanding, and the other one is needing strength to get through it. Or maybe this is that, you know, that strength element is coming in because you're going to have to be this strong in order to ask the questions on the level above. So in order to ask those questions about, you know, where Eleanor stands, I really don't know, Doomsight, quite, you know, whichever this is, whether this is that you need to be strong in order to get out of the relationship, or you need to be strong in order to ask Eleanor if she wants out of the relationship. At the very root of it, we've got the Page of Pentacles. Now, this tells me that I think there is a lot of youth energy here, a lot of young energy. So whether you and Eleanor are quite young, whether this is like first relationships or second or third, you know, very young in your relationship cycle, so to speak, it feels like there's a lot of youthfulness here, because pages represent the young. They represent youthful energy. This is childlike naivety coming into play. And the Page of Pentacles is that growth element. It's also work, career and finances, but it's the growth element that we're looking at here. So we go from the Five of Swords, where there's been arguments and upheaval recently, to the Magician, where things just aren't working out as planned. That plan for a better life isn't coming to fruition, leading to the Page of Pentacles with this young, naive attitude at the root of it. Maybe you thought things would be instantly better once you got together. Things would, you know, you'd snap, you'd work well together from day one, and maybe that's not happening. And maybe there's an element here of the two of you don't want to work to make the relationship that united, if that makes sense. And it does take two to have that bond. It takes two people to want to work on that relationship, to enable that to be able to work long term, so that you are meant to be. You can certainly have couples that are quote unquote meant to be, but unless you put that work in, the reality is it doesn't happen. It falls through the wayside, it falls through the cracks. And finally we get back up to that Empress reverse, where we don't have that loving, warm, sort of vibrant energy from the relationship. So overall, my darling, I think that if you are asking questions, if it's because you want out but you don't know how, then I think that answers your question. If you're questioning whether Eleanor is committed to you because you don't have this strong, bond, and you don't feel like things are happening the way that you want, I think you've got to have that conversation with Eleanor. And then maybe the reality is that either you're both too young, or that maybe what you thought would happen in the relationship is a little bit naive, and maybe that's where this is all coming from. But thank you ever so much for your question, my darling. I hope that helps. And once again, thank you ever so much for your donation, and all the very best of luck to you, my darling. I know that whatever's happening, the fact that you're asking a question about your relationship obviously means that there are some trials there that you need to work through. So the very best of luck to you, my darling. And I hope that at least gives you some guidance. But thank you ever so much for your question. Right then, so I do think it's time that perhaps we took a little look into a live round, a free round. That might explain it then, my darling. That might absolutely explain it. If she hasn't got that sort of that maternal vibe in terms of the Empress, and I'm not saying that everybody needs to have children at all, but if that's a stumbling block for you, and if her naivety and her youth perhaps, or childishness, childlikeness, if that is a stumbling block, then again it may well be that is a conversation that you do both need to have, my darling. But thank you ever so much for your question. I really hope that helps. Hi, Flower Beauty, Peacock Rainbow. How are you, my darling? I hope what was I trying to say? I hope we haven't seen you for a long time, is what I was going to say. No, I hope you are well because we haven't seen you for a long time. That's the right way round. Those are my worms. I know it's difficult for me to mispronunciate my worms, you see. It's very difficult. So then, I do think, is it time? Shall we open up a free round? I think we should. So then we are officially opening a free round. And what that means is if you would like to ask a question yourself and you don't want to, or you're unable to send it as a super chat, do please go ahead and pop your question into the live chat right now. Start your question with the word question, and that will come through to me. And one of those will get picked at random. Okay, so you need to put your question in right now. Start your question with the word question, and as I say, one of those will be picked, and I will ask one of those after this little video. So we've got a 30-second video just in case you've forgotten what I said about how to get a free reading. This should tell you. Okay, so then let's have a little wee look. I don't know what my voice did then. I'm so sorry. It did a little squeaky voice, like a little mouse. So then, good evening. Let's have a look. I don't know why I keep saying good evening. We've got 4 questions in. Okie dokie. So the keeper of the questions, let me know in that their WhatsApp group what the decision is. So we've got a question from Clutica, Elise, Scorpio Angel, and Flower Beauty. So that's what we want to know. Keeper of the questions, and pop it into the WhatsApp. So how we're doing it now, because there was a question over whether or not I was choosing for other people, or I was choosing based on people I may know, or people like Flower Beauty, Peacock Rainbow, who's been in the chat for quite a bit. So we now have a mod who is going to pop the details in the live chat, please. Who will basically let me know. There we go. Thank you. Who will basically let me know who I am reading for. So they will have either dice or the spinny thing, and they pick it at random. So then let's have a look. I am going to go with the I've got conflicting. We're going with Elise because that was the first one. So keeper of the questions, just one, please. Thank you. Question: love life, near future, you are single. Okay, Elise, listen. Kritika, Scorpio Angel, and Flower Beauty Peacock Rainbow. A long name. Go ahead. Flower Beauty Peacock Rainbow. It's because it's 8 syllables. I think that's what it is. It's not that it's long on screen, it's just 8 syllables. If the 4 of you, what am I even like today? Do you know what? I'm saying all the wrong things in all the wrong order. Or am I saying all the right things in all the wrong order? I was trying to do a gag there, but I failed. Right. What am I trying to say? Lisa, shut the hell up. What are you trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, if you weren't picked, go ahead, please select and copy your questions and hold on to them for the next 3 rounds. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Also, the joke that I was playing with is Little and Large, which is a comedy duo in the UK. Unfortunately, they both passed over. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it was Morecambe and Wise. That's who it was. It was Morecambe and Wise, and one of them was playing the piano, Eric Morecambe, and he's playing all the wrong notes. And that said to him, I think it's Andre Previn says to him, "But you're playing all the wrong notes," and he says, "No, I'm playing all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order." That was the joke I was trying to make, but my words weren't coming out and my brain wasn't functioning fast enough for once. So yes, there you go. You see, makes no sense. Anyway, Elise, my darling, shall I just shut the hell up trying to make bad jokes work and then explaining why those bad jerks don't work? Shall I just shut up and do a reading? Shall I just concentrate on what I'm good at? I think I should. Right. Okay. I tell you what, I'm going to do that.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Okay, right. So then, Elise, my darling, let's do your reading. I'm going to come back in on the webcam and let's do it. So we're going to ring the bell. You can ring my bell. Ring my bell. So then, Wispy, you don't get to chuck a card before we've asked the question. Chuck a card. Chuck a card. Everybody, chuck a card. I know, right? I'm just going with it today. I've been trying to hide and mask the fact that my ADHD brain is in full-on scatterbrain, like full-on multiverse level of ADHDing at the moment. And I'm trying to be very mindful of that and trying to be very controlled. But it's also, I think it's coming across as a little bit unrealistic. So I'm just going to allow it. I'm just going to allow myself just to give a little wiggle and just relax into everything. And the brain will go where the brain will go. So then, Elise, my darling, what's that? See, exactly. What's that a picture of? It looks like a lovely blue sea with some rocks and the sky on the horizon. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know if it is. I can only see it in a little tiny picture like that. So yeah, do let me have a little look-see, please. Okay. Okie dokie. Let me just turn everything off. There we go. I've been trialing having a backup screen for when the chat goes a little bit wibbly. Wispy, we've got a card. So yeah, I've been trialing having a separate screen for when everything pauses so I can see when that happens. Because sometimes I don't get to see that live. My system sometimes shows me that I'm still live when I'm actually not. It's all a bit messed up at the moment. But I've just turned that whole screen off. So then you've got the Wheel of Fortune, Elise, and that's popped in as your clarifying or modifying card. Now, the Wheel of Fortune itself, come on, why can't I? Oh, hang on. Now my mouse isn't working fully either. Great, right. So the Wheel of Fortune itself is all about risk and reward. Okay, so it feels like there could be a little hint of something coming up in the future, right? Now, this could be something that could potentially be nothing more than a little wee fling, right? A bit of fun, summer fling. It's like a little holiday fling, a little date with the waiter, you know, that you see on holiday, you know, that lovely sort of, I've never done it myself, but you know, you have that little holiday romance that you both know is only going to last a couple of weeks before you've got to go home, and then you say you're going to keep in touch, but you both know you probably won't, right? So it could be that, but again, that little holiday romance could end up with you both getting green cards or whatever the travel things are, moving in, marrying, 17 kids, and you know, celebrating your 50th marriage 51 years down the line. You don't know, and that is what this card is saying. There is definitely a hint of something coming your way in the very near future. So I only see 6 weeks, mainly 6 weeks into the future. 6 weeks to 2 months is what I say is the longest time, really, with the way that I work the cards. So this is going to be like holiday type vibe. So July into early autumn, very, very early autumn, we've got this vibe happening. Now, this doesn't mean that the love of your life is going to walk into your life and be there immediately. This is just saying that this potential fling, potential love, potential something energy is making its way and will be making itself known to you in that period. Okay. Now, the fact that the Wheel of Fortune, it could be that this is a bit of a bad boy or a bad girl or a bad person, not as in a nasty person, but you know, like in like Jojo Siwa, where she's a bad girl now, and it's all like and you know, it's oh gosh, it's a bit like the Han Solo. You know, he's a smuggler, but he doesn't play by the rules, and that makes him a little bit sexier. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you've got a leather jacket and a motorbike. Oh, instantly sexier. Do you know what I mean? There's like that sort of vibe coming about. Or, oh, you've just got yourself an undercut. Isn't that a bit sexy? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, a little bit different, a little bit, oh, a little bit. It's that sort of vibe that might be coming in terms of a romance because of that Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so don't be surprised if the person, and again, this isn't somebody coming knocking at your door. This is just going to be the vibe or the energy that's coming your way. You still have to, you know, ask them out for a date or agree to go out on a date. This person isn't going to show up on your doorstep with a Harley Davidson, a leather jacket, a spare helmet, and a bunch of flowers. Do you know what I mean? You have to do some work. You have to put some work into it. So let's have a look. I'm going to cut the cards because whenever we have a card jump, that's when we cut the cards. So this is your clarifier or modifier, which means all the cards that are coming up now are going to be filtered through the Wheel of Fortune. So what have we got? We've got where you are, what you need to know, and what the future opportunity is. Ooh, interesting. So first of all, we've got the Two of Cups coming. Why is this cat? Hang on 1 second. Sorry. If I angle that so it is on there straight to me. Now it's straight to you as well. Fantastic. We've got the Two of Cups. Now, normally I would be saying that the Two of Cups is all about romance. This way up it is. This way up, it could be, with this Wheel of Fortune coming into play, this could be a friends with benefits type situation. Okay, so it could be that you've got somebody that you're close with already that's in your circle, but that perhaps you haven't yet moved that out of the friend zone, and perhaps you're not even aware that you like the person that way just yet, or maybe you are, but maybe they haven't reciprocated. There's something here around that. It could also represent an ex. So if there's an ex in your life that, you know, is still perhaps the one that got away, it's possible that they could be coming in. However, what I would say, in all honesty, as the most authentic version of this that I can possibly say is, it feels like right now there is still issue from this relationship, from the past relationship, that you need to shift. Now, there is a certain saying, again, keeping this card in mind, that the best way to get over a lover is to get under a new one. Do you know what I mean? There is an option there, but it does feel like there is definitely a bit of ex-lover energy going on here with this card. In the what you need to know, we've got the Empress reversed. Now, the Empress, again, my favorite card in the deck. I say it every single time, because one of these days I will have an Empress tattoo and I'll be able to go, look. But she really is, because she brings warmth and nurturing and all that abundant energy, that loving energy, that growth, that earth energy. She is a fantastic card. When she's reversed, she still kind of brings a bit of that, but it comes in a much different form. She isn't that open, she isn't that warm and welcoming. And this is really saying that at the moment, these two cards, where you are and what you need to know, it feels like this is linked. So I don't know whether at the moment you're kind of not wanting, because of the X, it may be that you're not wanting the full-on deep and meaningful right now, that, you know, the full-on 25-year, this is it, I am in this for the long term. And again, that may be why this Wheel of Fortune card is coming up. Not every relationship has to be the be all and end all, is what I would basically say with that, if that makes sense, my darling. And then the Ace of Pentacles coming up in the future position, even though this is a reading about romance, it's still coming up as a new start. So there is a new start coming, and Pentacles is normally work, career, or finance. But tell me, look at this and tell me this isn't a beautiful garden, because Pentacles also relates to earth energy and it relates to growth. So it does feel as if there is some growth for you within the love realm coming up. Now, maybe that growth is dealing with X energy, clearing that out of the, you know, it's like clearing the cookies off your phone, isn't it? You got to do that every now and then. Or clearing the cache on your computer, CHE on the end, not SH, cache or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes you've got to do these things. You've got to defrag your computer. You've got to cache, wipe it, and do all of those housekeeping bits. It kind of feels like this is what this is saying. And then you've got a new start coming up within the next few weeks. But I think if you are wanting something that is a little bit lighter, a little bit more fun, and a little bit less, you know, deep and meaningful, then I think the cards are hinting that maybe there's a summer fling, definitely a summer fling coming your way to help you deal with whatever this X energy and this disappointment from the reversed Empress is saying. Hope that helps, my darling. I don't know if that makes any sense in terms of this relationship for you, but it does really feel as if there is a change happening. And it does feel like, you know, let me just, I'm going to play two buttons. And this is what, if I could sum up the entire reading for the next few weeks and what might be coming your way, right? In two quick sound bursts, it would be this. Hopefully those played at a volume that you can hear better than I can hear on my end. But thank you ever so much for your question. And I really hope that helps, Elise. I really do hope that helps. It feels like there is definitely going to be some fun to be had if you wish to have fun in that way. Let's put it that way. Right, I don't know why, but I am being called at by the Fifth Spirit Tarot deck. I've got no idea what's happening, but I am, every time I'm using the Radiant Rider Waite, I am ooh, you've already done it. Ooh, All release, we want details. We want spill the tea. Spill the tea. We want the tea. No, this is the internet. This is the internet. Share the tea with all your friends. This is the internet. Keep it off the internet, because you know what happens. You'll say something. You'll say, oh, he wasn't the best lover I've ever had. And then 6 months down the line, he'll find what you said on this comment. And then he'll go, oh, actually, you said blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It really did. Yes, it really did. But it does feel, it honestly feels like you've still got, there's still more. Oops, sorry, I hit the microphone. It still feels there's more romantic fun to be had yet. The summer's, you've still got a good few months of summer, you know what I mean? The summer's not done yet. And it does feel like you've got more fun dating energy coming your way rather than anything too serious. And I really, 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 really hope that helps. And thank you very much for your question. And yay. All I can say is yay. And in my head, every time that wow plays, there should be those little, like, you know, the love hearts that go in your eyes. We go, ah, or little the star emoji where they've got the sparkling stars, because it's like, am I allowed to say the word orgasm on YouTube? I don't know. I'll have to have a look. Anyway, right, my darlings, let's have a look. So it is time. There's no more super chats in for now. So go ahead if you would like to get a free reading. Go ahead and pop your question into that there live chat. Forgot what I was saying then. Into the comment section, starting with the word question, and I will. And one of those will get picked. Sorry. I'm at 6s and 7s because my system is running so slow right now. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. So the next round is officially open. So if you would like to, please do go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. And the keeper of the questions will grab one of those at random and send it across. Okay. So only one person is chosen for the free readings. If you are not the chosen one, then do please go ahead and select your comment and copy it and wait for the next one. But right now, this is the time to get your question in if you would like a free reading, and I'll be coming back to them. Oh my gosh, come on, what is happening? I will be coming back to them, and the keeper of the questions will be telling me who I'm reading for in exactly 28 seconds. Okay, so then the keeper of the questions had said Kelsey. Let me just have a look and see if I can find Kelsey Wells. I've got your question up. Okie dokie. Right then, let me take that banner off. So Kelsey Wells, your question is going to come in next. Question, may I know what are SM's Virgo's feelings for you? He's your ex. Okay, my darling, no problem at all. I'm going to go ahead and hit. I wonder if I need to. I think I need to buy a new mouse because my mouse is absolutely not working and it's causing all sorts of problems. Right. I am going to hit this and your question will be up in exactly 15 seconds. Right then, I just grabbed a mouthful of coffee. So here we go. We're cleansing the space. We always do it with the bell. The reason we do it with the bell is there is a witchcraft belief that the ringing of the bell, the vibrations in the air, help to cleanse. So that's what we do. We cleanse this space so that we don't get any energy from previous readings sort of coming through. We then bring in Wispy, who is our air elemental air dragon. So again, I'll pop the link in a second time there on the screen. Or in the chat, I should say. So if you would like to know more about Wispy, then please do go ahead and have a look at that podcast episode that me and Neil did. Hopefully we'll be filming another podcast very soon, and I do have one to edit. I've just been a little bit poorly recently, but no worries, it's all good. So then, Wispy, Kelsey Wales would like to know, what are SM's feelings towards them? He is Kelsey's ex. So what is SM's feelings towards Kelsey? He's Kelsey's ex. That's what we're wanting to know. So I have swapped decks over to the Fifth Spirit Tarot. I don't know why, but this one was calling me. Maybe it's for you, Kelsey. This deck is a little bit blunter. It's a little bit more direct. So yeah, maybe this is being sent your way for a reason. I've got no idea. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Let's have a look then. So we do your drop. There we go. And then let's have a look. So where you are, I'll tell you what, no, we're not going to do a where you are right now. We're going to do a spread that we have what your ex wants. Ooh, gosh, 10 of Cups straight in. Okay, what your ex wants in terms of everything. We'll go with what your ex. So this is what your ex wants. We'll go with what you want in relation to your ex. Oh, Kelsey. Okay. And then we'll look at the possible relationship future between the two of you. Okay. So, right, let's get into it. So, I love this deck so much. I love this deck so much. I would make it my exclusive deck, except that would be quite boring on the channel. So, the 10 of Cups, what does your ex want? Your ex is still into you. Your ex, I think, is still into you, my darling. The 10 of Cups. Cups is the emotional suit. Cups is the suit all about romance, feelings, all of those things, right? The 10 is literally overflowing. You can see every single cup, every single vessel here is absolutely overfull to the point where they're starting to spill with emotions. Now, this is a positive and a negative. Okay, it's a positive because it means that yeah, your ex has a lot of feelings for you. He's still into you, blah blah blah. But there might be an element of jealousy creeping in. There might be an element of possessiveness. There might be an element of, you know, even though it's currently over, maybe he's not able to fully let go, which normally this card could be a major problem with an ex. But look at what came up when I said specifically, what does Kelsey want? We've got the 2 of Cups. So again, Cups is emotion. The 2 represents the Spice Girls to become one. I don't know how old you are, whether you'll get that reference or not. You can see we've got the tying of the knots, marriage. We've got the hearts that are in the tying of the knots. So this card represents 2 people sharing a life as one, 2 people coming together into a relationship. For me, all 2s represent a couple of people and a partnership of a different kind. In this card, with this suit, it is absolutely all about romance. So I think you've still got feelings for your ex. Now, the issue is, Kelsey, the potential future relationship, we've got the 4 of Swords. Now, 4s aren't bad. 4 is talking about stability. So it's coming in that there is a stable element here in the future. If you two decided to get back together, it sounds like things would be stable, but it also, because we've got the Swords, it's talking about there being a lot of challenges, a lot of things that you need to learn, a lot of things where you will potentially press each other's buttons, not in a positive kind of way, but more perhaps in a way where you start to grate on one another, or where you just know exactly how to get under each other's skin. And that may just sort of continue, because the Four of Swords are those obstacles, those challenges, those hurdles. Now the thing about the swords is that is how we learn as a human being, right? We learn through challenges. If the very first time you stood up and you fell down, if you decided that was it, you wouldn't be walking now. The 1-year-old, or however old you are when you start that process, 6 months, I don't know, babies, but when we're learning things as a child, we keep going, we pick ourselves back up, we try and learn to crawl, we fall flat on our tummies, we then keep trying, we overcome those hurdles. So this could be one of those cards, and this could be one of those situations where, if these are fairly small hurdles, which the Four suggests that they might be, because it's talking about, you know, a stability going on, then it could well be that that's how you learn about each other. You know, it may be that he really hates you leaving a washing up bowl in the night, in the sink in the morning. Sorry, he hates you leaving items in the washing up bowl in water to soak overnight, right? He may hate that. And so you learn to either do the washing up at night, or to put the items in the bowl and not put the water in, right? One or the other. And that's a hurdle that you got to, and you've overcome it and learnt either to keep your other half happy. That is what you need to do. But then he then learns about you further down the line, and he may learn that, I don't know, maybe you don't like cut flowers. And so the first few times he buys you cut flowers, you're like, okay, thank you. And then eventually you say, I don't really like them because they just sit in a vase and die, in which case he learns that. And then he brings you, I don't know, a living plant. Do you know what I mean? So these aren't the big hurdles that are likely to split people up. These aren't the big challenges. These are the little ones that you learn as you go through a relationship. And it all depends on what you want from that relationship, because I think you've got an absolute opportunity here. I think your ex still has feelings for you. I think you still deep down want to be back in a relationship with your ex. And I think the only issues that you're likely to have between you are going to be those hurdles that you're going to need to get through whatever broke you up. And then the day to day, oh, you really don't like it when he puts, excuse me, you really don't like it when he eats his cereal, and he really doesn't like it when, you know, you slightly burn the toast. And so you learn all of these things about each other's foibles. But if you get to that point, you're going to have to kind of have that conversation with him and work out whether or not what you both want is actually what these cards are suggesting. But the fact that we've got both of these cards absolutely tells me that if you wanted to go back there, you absolutely can. Anyway, I hope that helps, Kelsey. Thank you ever so much for your question. And yeah, very best of luck. The very best of luck. And again, we are still waiting for the first Beyond Authentic wedding. So, you know, if that was you and your ex, then it becomes you and your partner, and then you and your husband. Then so be it. We just want an invite. We can appear by Zoom. We've got our hats, our suits. We've got everything ready. Posh frocks for some, suits for others, posh frock suits for others. We're all ready for it. Just let us know. And I hope that helps, Kelsey. And yeah, very best of luck to you, my darling. So then let's have a look. I think it is time to go ahead. We're going to try and get some more readings in tonight. And let me just, there we go, take that one off the screen. So we are going to try and get some more readings in tonight. Before, though, I do have to say good evening to Ed. Good evening, Ed, my darling. Ed is one of our lovely moderators that help the channel keep running. So thank you ever so much to Ed for popping in this evening and for joining us. Kelsey, thank you so much for your reading. No problem, my darling. I hope that helps. Don't forget, not just for Kelsey, but for everybody, you can always hit the thanks button. Apparently there's a super thanks button somewhere. If you wanted to send a super thanks, That's a thing. I don't know what it is or how it works, but yes, apparently it's a thing. And YouTube sent me a thing fairly recently that they send out to creators saying to remind people that it's a thing. So there you go. Apparently it's a thing. That's all I know. That is all I know. All I know. So I am going to grab a quick slug of coffee. Sorry, I'm having all sorts of issues with my mouse today. None of the buttons are doing what they should be doing. Right. So I don't know where you are in the world, right? Obviously, because this is the internet. I also don't know what type of movies and films and TV shows that you are into. But personally, I am a huge fan of pretty low budget horror. So not the big scary ones that are in all the cinemas now, but like the ones where the color red is far too red for the blood. Do you know what I mean? Where it's obviously fake. The ones where you can see the rubber molding on the masks around the vampire's face. You know, those sorts. Not Interview with the Vampire, the TV show that looks really good and sexy now. No, I like the old vampire things where you can see the outline of their rubber nose and their plastic teeth nearly fall out, right? Things like, I'm not going to say Fright Night because I know that Necro Neo in the chat, who's watching will absolutely crucify me, but that's the sort of thing I like. You know what I mean? All those schlock horror movies and things, I love them. Absolutely a sucker for them, literally, in terms of the vampire films. But anyway, so Necro Neo, as I mentioned, is one of our lovely moderators and helps me produce a lot of the things on this channel. Also helps me with the Instagram side of things. And believe it or not, Neil has been running a fanzine, a horror zine, for over 20 years, and it has never changed its style. It is phenomenal. And so I put this together as a little thank you for Neil doing all the stuff that he does on the channel, but also to let you know that this zine is bloody amazing. So if you're into horror movies, check this out.
Legend has it that it was written by the Dark Ones.
It is coming. Necronomicon. Strange tales of the supernatural and the unearthly when the fabled Necronomicon unleashes his ancient secrets.
The secrets of the Necronomicon do not come cheap.
Necronomicon.
What's in the basket? Easter eggs?
I still laugh. I edited that. I put that blooming thing together and it still makes me laugh. Toxic Avenger in there. There was Basket Case in there. Oh, the proper bad, so bad they're good horror films. I love them. Absolutely love them. Right then, talking about things I love. I also love when people ask questions on my channel. I do. That is what we're here for. So if you would like a tarot reading, why are you grumpy tonight? Why are you grumpy? Don't be grumpy, Ed. Don't be grumpy. Go and watch Basket Case or Beyond Reanimator. Oh, fantastic films. Bad, cheap, cheesy horror, but fantastic. Anyway, shall we have a round? Sorry about that freezing, but the next round is officially open. Go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. And yes, one of those will get picked at random by the keeper of the questions. And then you've got yourself a free reading. If, however, you are not the person that the keeper of the questions picks, go ahead and select and copy your question and post it in on the next opportunity. And we'll be doing, I'll be reading for that person in about, 24 seconds. Okay, Scorpio Angel. Let me have a look in the chat. Scorpio Angel. Scorpio Angel. There we go. Scorpio Angel. Good evening, Scorpio Angel. Question. I'll pop that. I'll read that in just a second. Let me take that banner off screen. Question. Any love coming? What can you tell me about them? Okie doke, my darling. I will have a look at that for you. Let's go ahead and I'm going to pop this 6-second thing on and swap the camera. You can just see my water bottle there. Look, I've swapped from Coke, from coffee to squash to a bit of water because it's healthier. But let's go ahead and ring your bell. And we're going to bring in Wispy to, as always, here's our elemental air dragon or our air elemental dragon. So I don't know whether you've been on before, Scorpio Angel, when I've mentioned Wispy, but this lovely picture here, if you imagine, like, it looks a bit like Falcor, like a green Falcor. But if you imagine Falcor from the Never-Ending Story, or this sort of wispy dragon, and then make it out of steam, out of like cold breath or warm breath on a cold day, make it out of the ether, those little hints of clouds that are just about to disappear. That is what Wispy is. And he is an egregore, and he basically connects myself and my whatever the tarot ability gift, wherever this comes from, he connects it to the Akashic records where all of our information is held about all of our lives. So yes, absolutely fantastic. So, you know, when I say to people, don't dox yourself, do not dox yourself, because if you dox yourself, then, you know, Google and everybody else will have access to all of your information. Absolutely, 100%, because that is like the Akashic records on our ethereal selves, our spiritual selves. At least that's my belief. Other people have lots of different beliefs, and that's just how I interact with the tarot. So then, Wispy, Scorpio Angel would like to know, is there any love coming? What can we tell them about this? Oh, is that a single card? It's a single card. So we've got the 5 of Wands that has jumped. So this is a clarifying card. Now, what I mean by that is the 5 of Wands is going to clarify the rest of the cards that fall for you, my darling. So what is the 5 of Wands? Wands is your sense of self, your self-esteem, your sense of security, how you know yourself, all of those lovely things. And what we've got here is each of these bits of wood are in fact different parts of, or different wands that have been, you know, structured differently. So we've got a branch, arguably the most basic type of wand. Well, in all honesty, in witchcraft, the most basic type of wand is your finger. That was the world's first ever pointing stick. And also, unless there's a horrible, terrible accident, then you normally don't lose your pointy stick. Do you know what I mean? If you use your finger. However, you've got a branch or a bit of twig. That's a wand. Then these other 4 items have been carved from wood, so they can be kind of used as wands. So we've got a pitchfork, a 2x4 with a nail through it. We've got a flaming torch, and we've got a baseball bat. Now, the issue with this card is that we're actually using it, these wands, we're using them in such a way that we're right underneath the hornet's nest. So this, again, 5s talk about there being a little bit of tumultuousness, a little bit of some issues, a little bit of, I always want to say a little bit of Monica in my life, but no, a little bit of distraction, or a little bit of just upheaval in general, basically, in your confidence. So I don't know whether your confidence has been feeling a bit crap recently. Again, this is reverse, so it's saying that I really think that your confidence has taken a bit of a knock, and that's never a good thing. But maybe we have to look at the cards and maybe see if we can get your confidence back up a little bit. What I'm going to do, my darling, is I'm going to do a longer reading for you. I'm going to do a 6-card reading for you because we haven't got that many people on the stream tonight. Normally this is saying, again, my YouTube isn't working properly, so it's telling me I've got 5. But I know that there are more people than that watching, because there's more people than that have been commenting. So there you are. But I'm going to do you a longer reading. So let's go for it. Did I do your cut? No, I didn't do your cut. Let's do your cut. There we go. A simple cut right in half. So then, Wispy, love reading for Scorpio Angel. Let's look and see where you are now. Ooh, the Hanged One reversed. It doesn't mean you're hanging. It's not a negative card. I'll explain it, okay? What you need to know. The Seven of Pentacles, again, interesting. And what is the future opportunity? Two of Swords, okay. Okay. And then how do we go? Hang on. Why is that? There we go. I don't know why I'm at a funny angle with this now. Is that all right on your end, everybody? I don't know. It looks very, I'm gonna have to do it like that. It looks very awkward. Anywho, right. Linking the Hanged One to the Seven of Pentacles is the 9. Okay. Famine or Feast. Linking the 7 to the 2 is the Wheel of Fortune. And we've got the 4 of Cups in your at the root of everything. So let's have a look. So, my darling, the Hanged One coming up in your where you are now position. Normally looks a little bit like this. It's normally called the Hangman or the Hanged. In this instance, the Hanged One is all about knowledge and experience. Okay. Now, this way up, you can see this person has been tied in a particular way. It's a particular Japanese art form, a Japanese art form that they've been tied up in that is chosen. So every single knot, the way each strand is placed has very, very specific meaning, and it's very ritualistic. And they've chosen to do this underwater because this person gains knowledge that way. So if you can see here, we've got this sort of aura, halo type situation, this wheel, which is actually knowledge being gained. In the traditional Hanged Man, it's talking about the knowledge being gained from Odin on the Tree of Life, gaining the roots of the runes, basically gaining the knowledge of the runes. In this case, it's a little bit different, but it's still talking about self-sacrifice and sacrificing the immediate uncomfort for, future knowledge and future experiences and all of those things. So in this particular reading, I think it's saying that you are perhaps, maybe your love life has been on pause for a little while. Maybe that's not been at your request, put it that way. And I don't mean you're not getting dates or not getting offered. It just feels like maybe there's been a reason that you've decided to put the romantic side to one side for now, and now maybe you're wanting to get back into the dating game or something like that. The reason I'm saying that as well is we've got the 7 of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles isn't related to love normally, except, as I said earlier on, Pentacles is about growth, and the 7s are about difficult decisions. Is it time to harvest this pumpkin or pea? I like it says peas, and these are actually pumpkins, but is it time to harvest this wonderful fruit from this tree yet? Or does it need more work? And in terms of what you need to know, I think this is saying, in terms of your romantic side, have you grown from previous relationships enough? Do you know what I mean? Have you healed enough? Have you grown enough? Because we've got this card. Now, this is a warning, so don't take this too, I don't think this is too set in stone, but we've got the 2 of Swords coming up in the future potential relationship, or in the future position for an opportunity. And this is talking about the 2 of Swords, swords being hurdles and swords being challenges. So it's not necessarily saying that a future relationship is going to be full of arguments and blah blah blah, but I think what it is saying is that there's maybe there's some specifics that you need a future relationship to have, if that makes sense. So maybe you need a partner that is going to be open to certain ideas, or maybe help you heal from certain events, or maybe, you know, will have open heart and open trust for a specific reason. Do you know what I mean? I think you've got some quite specific challenges that you need them to meet, or that you want them to acknowledge within you. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes some sense, Scorpio Angel. So it could be, I mean, listen, it could be a kink. Again, there's no kink shaming here. It could be something that you're into. It could be something you want to try. It could be something that you are recovering from a previous relationship that's got nothing to do with the bedroom, but is all to do with trust, and, you know, what people might have to do to meet that trust. And it could be a whole world of things, but it does feel like you have some specific boundaries, maybe, and some lines in the sand and some red flags. And listen, that is the most wonderful thing in the world, right? I've told the story loads of times about how me and my husband got together, but what a lot of people don't know, and when I say, oh well, you know, I decided not to date anymore, I had put in place some very firm boundaries, some very, very firm binoculars designed to look for red flags, if you get my drift. I was absolutely 100% determined that I would not shift those boundaries or accept any of those red flags in any way, shape, or form. And because I was so determined about what I wanted and what I needed moving forward, I thought it was impossible. No one's ever going to live up to that. So I then wrote off the idea of ever being in a relationship. And literally within 3 months of me deciding that, if that, it might have even been like 2 months, I met my other half, and we've been together for, I think it's 9 years this year. After a bit, I lose track of time, but I think it's 9 years this year that we've been together. And it's because I put those boundaries, very, very firm boundaries, in place. So if that's something you are having to do as well, don't worry. Don't let it stop you and bring your confidence down and think, oh, I'm never going to meet someone, because it absolutely can work out. I know that for a fact. Let's take a look down. So we go deeper down into the layers, if you like an onion. Linking these two, we've got the 9 of Pentacles. Now, this is the famine or feast card. And I think this is really talking about, you know, somebody has to absolutely tick all your boxes, or they don't. Do you know what I mean? And again, this is Pentacles, so I think this is about growth, and it could also be about maybe somebody at work, because Pentacles is related to work, money and finances. So there could be somebody that you work with that you might be a little bit interested in. But I think this is more likely that you are absolutely, you are somebody where it's all or nothing. Do you know what I mean? You're no half measures. You're either, it's not that you are content with just seeing how things go. You're dating me, you're not dating 7 other people. Do you know what I mean? There's those sort of lines in the sand, and this is why this is that famine or feast element. And I think this is why the Wispy's bringing me this card, is because it is that thing of either the relationship is what you need it to be, or it isn't, in which case there isn't a relationship. You've also got the Wheel of Fortune coming in. Now, this is interesting because it's going from the what you need to know to the future position. And the Wheel of Fortune here is reversed, but the Wheel of Fortune is all about risk and reward. And again, I've got the strongest feeling, my darling, that you are in a similar situation to where I was 9 and a bit years ago, where it's literally, I've risked too much. I've had too many rubbish relationships, too many rubbish partners. These are now my rules. These are now my lines in the sand. If you want to be with me, you've got to meet these rules. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like, don't take this. I'm going to say it, right? I'm going to say it. It's almost like there's a sign in your bedroom that says you have to be this tall to ride this ride. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean I don't mean that in the way it sounds, but it's like these are your rules, and they are the basics of, you know, how you want to be treated and how you want to be, how your partner has to be. Not in the terms of, or maybe in the terms of a dominatrix. Again, no kink shaming, but it could just be that these are emotional rules. You know, like if you cheat on me, it's completely over. You know, one it doesn't matter if you kiss someone, that's it, I'm done, I'm out. If you know what I mean, these rules that you put in place are there to protect yourself, and also to make sure that the relationship moving forward, that you both know what those lines are in the sand, but also that you would honor your partner's lines in the sand, if that makes sense. And the reason I think that all of this is being put into place, this Four of Cups, this Nine of Pentacles, this Hanged One, I think you would rather be single than be in another shit relationship. Excuse my French, but I really do. This Four of Cups, cups is the emotional suit, right? This is the only emotional suit card in your reading, but this is a reading where the Four is talking about stability. What you long for more than anything else in a relationship is you want that stability. You want to know that if you put your faith and your trust in someone, that it's going to be reciprocated. You want that element. You want that stable, and stable doesn't mean boring. Stable can be incredibly exciting in lots of different ways. And I've said the K word so many times now, I'm not going to repeat it. But you can have the most wonderful, romantic and fulfilling relationship, and it can be the most stable, heartwarming thing, because you've got that rock. You've got that foundation to build a life on. And I think that is what you are looking for, my darling. I think you're looking for something for you to build that life. Now, it doesn't suggest here that there is anything coming your way in the immediate, right? That isn't to say it isn't going to happen. There's lots of still some healing for you to do, and maybe even some working out exactly the type of relationship, the type of partner you want. Not saying they've got to be 5'6" and blonde hair and blue eyes, or brown hair and a nice olive is it called olive skin, or like a Mediterranean skin type, because you really like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying all of that, or they've got to earn at least 50k a year or whatever the hell it is. I'm not saying those type of rules. I'm saying that I think you're still working out what a relationship needs to be for you to give your time over to it. And again, that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. What I would say is just keep an open mind, because I didn't know that I was going on a first date when I was on that first date. And I didn't know that the person who's now my husband had those feelings for me in the beginning. And it took me a little bit by surprise. And it took me a little bit of, oh, okay. Oh, do I have feelings for this person? I was like, oh, actually, I think I might. Oh, bugger. What does that mean? And it took a little while for me to get into that mindset after setting down those hard and fast rules. So yeah, anyway, I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really, really do. And thank you very much for your question. Right, let me go ahead, and I'm on the wrong screen. Hold on. My mouse is absolutely not working, so it's making everything, come on, 10 times harder. Right, go into the comments. It's not going, just how do I hang on. Oh, let me have a look. There we go. So weird. 24 is your birthday, and you said 24 seconds at 3:24 your time. You see. Well, happy birthday for today. In fact, we've got a button for that. And also, do you know, oh, sodding thing. Every time I click on something, it puts me all the way down the bottom of a very long list of videos. And there we go. That's what I need to be. So then, Scorpio Angel, this is for you. Yes, indeed. Happy birthday, my darling. Oh, thank you. Congrats on 9 years. It is amazing. It's bloody amazing to me. Absolutely bloody amazing. Most of us are cool unless you get Ed on a bad day. That's very true. Good evening, Bob Roberts. I'll explain about the tarot round. I'll open one very, very shortly, but I will announce a round and then you can pop your question in the live chat and one will get chosen. Thank you. Very accurate. I'm just trying to see what your comments are. Life happens unexpectedly. It really, really does. Oh, no problem, my darling. Oh, okay. I thought it was today. Okay. Never mind. That's fine. I misread it. That's not a problem, my darling. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. Right then, let's go ahead and have... you're glad you have cameras in your car because you're used to being papped. I know, Ed. So if you don't know, Ed is actually not really Ed's name. Ed is actually a very famous Hollywood movie star who I know, who comes and just chills out with us. But Ed is very used to being papped by the paparazzi and taking pictures. So now, because of that, as a little bit of like trauma relief, Ed's decided to install cameras even in his own car, so that wherever he goes, he's always got that element of being papped by the paparazzi, so that when the paparazzi do jump out, it doesn't make him jump and doesn't scare him. So that's actually what's happening. So when you say hello to Ed, you're really saying hello to Ed in the live chat. Yes, because he's actually an incredibly famous Hollywood movie type. Anyway, enough of that bullshit. Let's go ahead and what the hell am I saying? Let's go ahead and open another free round. This is going to be the last one today, everybody. But the next round is now open. So go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will read one of those at random. The keeper of the questions will select one by a randomized process and send that through. This is the last chance to get a reading tonight. So if you do want to scalp it, a bit like tickets on a Taylor Swift concert tour or something, then you can go ahead and send your question in the form of a super chat, and that will guarantee that you get the last place today. But that is it. That is going to be the last reading. So go ahead and pop your question into the live chat. And don't forget to make sure it starts with the word question. Okay, right then, let me go ahead and do the do. I'll pop that on instead and take the banner off. That's what I'm trying to do. God, it's so difficult with a malfunctioning mouse. Right then, let me just do a psychic link with the keeper of the questions. Flower Beauty, Peacock Rainbow, you are going to get the final question tonight because you're the only one that asked a question. So there you go. That's how you claim the last question of today, is by being the last one here right at the end. So then we cleanse the space for your reading. And I'm going to swap cameras, obviously, because otherwise there is no point. You won't be able to see anything, will you? So then, Flower Beauty, let's go ahead and do your reading. So will anything happen, oh gosh, between him and me or is it over for good? Let's have a look at that for you, my darling. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. As it says at the top of the screen, we do have channel memberships available. So you can join from just £2.99. I don't know what that is in other money because I don't know how to work out other money. But you can do that in on that their YouTube. If you join for the £5, then you do get to do a live hangout, and also you get to watch me unbox things and do tarot card reviews and things like that. The unboxing this week, in fact, it was yesterday, it was very, very spicy. It was very spicy. I used some spicy language and everything, which I don't normally do with a witch casket unboxing. So if you want to join the membership and find out why all of that is, it's going to have to be cut from when I do the main video. The members get to keep those videos and watch them back. So if at any time anybody wants to join the membership, you'll have access to that. Just look for the Witch Casket July. And then all of the videos moving forward are filmed live with the members. Oh, gosh. Come on, hands. All the videos are filmed live with the members. And then obviously the edited versions get put up on Facebook as my normal unboxings and reviews. But that's the only way to see all of what actually happened in either live time or as live, is to join the membership. So yeah, do keep an eye out for that if you are watching and you want to help support the channel. Right then, Wispy. So Flower Beauty Peacock Rainbow. My God, these cards are flying everywhere. They got caught up on the microphone stand and everything. What is going on? Flower Beauty wants to know what will happen between him and me. Or is it over for good? Let's have a look. Wispy. There we go. Let's have a look for you, Flower Beauty. Is your card safe with YouTube? I've just realized I'm still on that screen, so it's a good job I was to answer the question. I certainly believe so. I hope so, because I am a member of a few channels, and also send quite a number of super chats to a particular channel, which may or may not have something to do with wrestling and 3 a.m. live streams and things like that. But anyway, it has been known to happen, yes, that I do have channel memberships on. One of them, again, just to say, it's a channel called Rocky Kanaka. He sits with dogs. Have a look for Sitting with Dogs. He basically helps rehome dogs and rescue dogs and things like that. And it's the most wholesome content. I absolutely adore it. And I'm a channel member with him. I'm also a channel member on EDB, Emily D. Baker, who again is just another creator that I follow, and I actually am a member of their channels. So yeah, I believe that they're as safe as they are anywhere, Flower Beauty, with any sort of online shopping and that. I've never had, in the years that I've spent money within the YouTube sort of space platform, whatever it's called. Well, I don't know what it's called. Space platform app thing. Yeah, I've personally never had a problem. I don't know anybody else who has. But again, take that with a pinch of salt, because we've all seen the worldwide internet shortages that have been going on recently and issues with hacking and everything. But I think it's as safe as any online retailer type situation, to be honest. Right then, so will anything happen between him and me? So we're going to do the Where You Are, the Eight of Swords, what you need to know, the Eight of Wands, okay, and the future opportunity, Ace of Wands. I'll do it as a 6 card. We've got the 4 of Wands, the 6 of Swords, and the 8 of Cups. So you've got 3 8s. Interesting in and of itself. Right then, so the 8 of Swords, my darling, Where You Are. I think that you have been led a bit of a merry dance by this one. I don't know why, but the 8 of Swords normally is talking about truth being revealed, blindfolds, being being lifted, and being able to move from being trapped. Here we've got all of these swords, these scissors that have all been wrapped with all of this tape. But you know what scissors can do? They can cut. So they are cutting through and freeing themselves from this tape. And that's something that this card is absolutely representative of. So yes, swords is trouble and strife and hurdles and challenges and hassles and all of that. But this is the card of enlightenment within the sword. So this is the card where it's like the universe is trying to tell you to open your eyes and trying to tell you to take that blindfold off. And I think that that's really important. So whatever's happened in the relationship, I think this is now you beginning to realize the honest truth behind whatever else is happening. Does that make sense? And it feels like you are opening your eyes, perhaps for the first time, or at least for the first time fully. The Eight of Wands coming in the what you need to know. This is about putting, so again, wands is confidence, security, how you see yourself. This is about putting all of those elements, all of those positive things about how you view yourself into one great big pile of fireworks, each one being a different aspect of that positive vibe, and then setting fire to them and seeing how they go. Pew, 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 all of that. I know, pew, 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 those are firework noises, not Star Wars space noises. Anyway, so this is talking about literally, it's potentially time for you to upset the apple cart. It's potentially time for you to basically make some big decisions about which aspects of your life you want to go and send up to the sky to explode in a big smoky pile of gunpowder, and which ones you want to keep and protect. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the flip side of the standard Rider-Waite, where the wands are being chucked out the window and you run downstairs. This is, if all of these 8 aspects that make you you, these are the positive self-esteem, the bits that give you that sense of security. If you're about to go and set them all off to go and explode in big piles of fireworks, which are the ones you're going to save? And you need to decide quick, because that fuse has been lit. So this is really saying, look, it's time for you to move forward in your life, but you don't have to take any of the crap with you. Any of those items, any of those things that used to make you feel confident that are no longer working for you, it's time to let those ones go and to actually only move forward with the things that still work. In the future position, we've got the Ace of Wands. So this is talking about you being in a new, more positive position. Please notice that here, where it's all important, there are no cups. There's only one right here, and it's reversed. Okay, so the Ace of Wands, this new start, new adventure, new project, new version of you. This is Flower Beauty Peacock Rainbow V.2 or V.1.1. Do you know what I mean? This is a new version, a new update. This is a new you about to go and make your way out into the universe. And it's Wands, which is a positive. And again, it's upright. So it does feel like there is a positive outcome coming up for you. I'm going to move that to one side. Linking the Eight of Swords with the Eight of Wands, we've got the Four of Wands reversed. This relationship, whatever it's been, has become stagnant, if that makes sense. Fours are normally stable. Fours are normally quite positive. 4 chair legs, 4 table legs. It's a really nice, comfortable place. This, when it's reversed and it's in Wands, it's basically saying everything that you thought was nice and warm and cozy, not necessarily has been a lie, but is now stagnant. That energy that kept you feeling warm and safe and loved and hugged, all of that is now almost kind of toxic. Do you know what I mean? If those hugs are still there, they feel different. All of that energy is now different because it's become stagnant. It's become like, you know, you've got a lovely pond in your garden. Oh, isn't that really lovely? I've got a pond for the frogs. I'm doing nothing with it. I've got no filter in it. And a year later, it's a mosquito house because it's become stagnant. And that is something to bear in mind. Okay. So it's saying that your confidence within the relationship has become stagnant. we've got the 6 of Swords coming in between the Wands and the Ace. This is really saying, look, you don't want to take these swords with you. This way round, the swords are in the boat. You're literally taking these issues along with you. You're taking the community. You're taking all of that ill favor and the ill behavior. You're taking all of that with you as you go forward. If this kind of keeps ticking, if that makes sense, it really does feel, the way you've asked the question, it feels like you know that where everything is headed, and the cards are just confirming that, because this 6 of Swords is reversed. So again, you don't need that negative energy coming with you. You don't need that strife, those hassles coming with you. And then finally, right at the very root, you've got the 8 of Cups reversed. So the 8 of Cups in this case is wanting, if it was upright, it would be saying, look, everything's, you've got the house, everything's leaking from the roof, but you're saving all the water. Everything's being, you've got these pots in places, and now it's time to go off on the journey to the 9. Isn't that really positive? Isn't that really lovely? You're going towards that full love energy, but it's reversed, which is saying that this leaky roof is actually having the opposite effect. It means not only do you want to go forward to the 9, it means you want to walk backwards. You want to leave this house with its leaky roof that you've had to put the pots and pans underneath. You want this house to come crumbling down all around you, and you want to be out the back door and, across the neighbor's yard and the neighbor's yard before that roof collapses in on you. And that in and of itself, my darling, I think that is a very clear pattern. Everything you've gone through is showing as negative. Where you're headed is a new start. You've got to be mindful not to take those issues with you. And right in the what you need to know, this is the confidence that you decide which ones you want to save and which parts of your life make you happy and complete. And those are the ones that you save, and everything else that doesn't do that for you anymore, you send off into fireworks and you let them explode in a big burst of color, and everybody goes, ooh, wow, if that makes sense metaphorically. Hopefully, Flower Beauty, that makes sense, my darling. It feels very much like where that is heading. You don't even need to ask that question, because it really does feel genuinely like, it's over. It feels like you just need to have the confidence. And that 8 of Wands card is echoing that. You need to have that confidence to say, this far and no more, this far and no more. And I hope that helps. I really, excuse me, I've got hiccups. I really, really, really do. But that is going to be it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I've had a really pleasant evening this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you ever so much to each and every person who joined, who asked questions. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to those of you who are already subscribers, and thank you to all the new subscribers from today. And of course, as always, the biggest thanks go towards the channel members, and of course to my wonderful mod squad, my chosen family, my YouTube family, my alternative family, whatever you want to call them. They are the most wonderful group of people, and all I can say is thank you very much to all of you for watching. And I will be back next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, next time on Tuesday at 7 p.m. UK time. My words are not coming out right. Hopefully by Tuesday I would have actually got some sleep, and that will make a huge difference to the ADHD brain. But anyway, I will see you again on Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. UK time. And in the meantime, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I will definitely see you on the next one. Bye-bye.